Welcome to the YouTube channel, Contact Center Knowledge Hub, your one-stop solution for expert guidance, best practices, and actionable knowledge in the world of contact centers. Explore, learn, and enhance contact center skills. Welcome, everyone. Today we are going to dive into one of the most powerful metrics in customer experience, the Net Promoter Score, or simply NPS. In a call center environment, NPS doesn't just measure satisfaction with a single interaction, it reflects overall customer loyalty and the likelihood that customers will recommend our services to others. We'll start by understanding the definition, then look at the formula used to calculate NPS, walk through an example scenario, and finally break down the key components that make this metric so critical for call center success. So, by the end of this session, you'll not only know what NPS is but also how to interpret it and how it connects to call center performance and customer loyalty. Let's get started. Let's begin with the definition of Net Promoter Score, commonly known as NPS. NPS is a key metric that measures customer loyalty by capturing how likely customers are to recommend the company to others after interacting with the call center or using its services. Unlike Customer Satisfaction Score, or CSAT, which focuses on immediate, short-term satisfaction with a specific interaction, NPS provides a much broader perspective. It reflects long-term loyalty, brand perception, and the emotional connection customers feel toward the organization. At the core of NPS is a single, powerful question that simplifies the measurement of loyalty. On a scale of 0 to 10, how likely are you to recommend us to a friend or colleague? This one question helps us quickly identify not only how satisfied a customer is in the moment, but more importantly, whether that customer trusts the brand enough to advocate for it. And in a call center environment, this difference is critical because satisfied customers may leave after a single good interaction, but loyal customers stay, repurchase, and promote the brand. So, think of NPS as the bridge between customer experience and long-term business growth, giving us a clear, strategic indicator of where we stand in the eyes of our customers. Now that we understand the definition of NPS, let's look at the formula that makes it so effective and simple to use. The formula is NPS equals the percentage of promoters minus the percentage of detractors. So, who are these groups? Promoters, those who give a score of 9 or 10, are our most loyal customers. They are enthusiastic supporters who are highly likely to recommend us to others. Passives, those who score us a 7 or 8, are satisfied but not deeply committed. They don't directly influence the NPS score, but they are at risk of being swayed by competitors. Detractors, those who rate us between 0 and 6, are unhappy customers. They're the ones most likely to share negative experiences and discourage others from choosing us. By subtracting the percentage of detractors from the percentage of promoters, we get a single number that reflects overall customer loyalty. This score can range anywhere from 100 to plus 100. The beauty of this formula lies in its clarity. It instantly tells us if we are building loyalty or losing it. Let's walk through a simple example to see how the NPS formula works in practice. Imagine we've collected 1,000 customer responses. Out of these, 600 customers rated us 9 or 10. That means 60% of our respondents are promoters, are loyal advocates. Another 200 customers, or 20%, scored us a 7 or 8, making them passives, satisfied, but not passionate. Finally, the remaining 200 customers, or 20%, gave us a score between 0 and 6. These are our detractors, the unhappy customers at risk of spreading negative word of mouth. Now, applying the formula, NPS equals the percentage of promoters minus the percentage of detractors. So, 60% minus 20% gives us a net promoter score of plus 40. How do we interpret this? An NPS of plus 40 signals that we have a strong base of loyal customers. It's a healthy score in many industries, but it also tells us there's room for improvement, particularly by reducing the number of detractors. In other words, this number doesn't just measure loyalty, it points us directly to where we need to focus our improvement efforts. Now, let's look at the key components of Net Promoter Score in a call center environment. First, the NPS survey question and its timing. The question is simple: on a scale of 0 to 10, how likely are you to recommend us to a friend or colleague? But timing is everything. To capture the most accurate feedback, the survey is typically sent within 24 hours of the customer's call. This can be done through email, SMS, or even an automated IVR message. The goal is to collect feedback while the customer's experience is still fresh in their mind. Second, response segmentation. Once responses are collected, they are categorized into 3 groups: promoters, passives, and detractors. This segmentation is what allows us to calculate the score, but more importantly, it enables deeper analysis. By breaking down results by customer type, interaction channel, or even agent, we can pinpoint exactly where we excel and where improvements are needed. These 2 components, timely survey delivery and effective response segmentation, form the foundation of how NPS is applied in a call center. Continuing with the key components of NPS in a call center, let's explore 2 more important elements. Third, open-ended feedback collection. Right after the rating question, a simple follow-up, "What's the primary reason for your score?" unlocks valuable qualitative insights. Numbers alone can tell us what the score is, but open-ended feedback explains why customers feel that way. This context is critical for understanding customer emotions, frustrations, or highlights, and it gives us actionable detail we can't capture with just a number. Fourth, channel and interaction level tracking. NPS becomes far more powerful when broken down by dimensions such as agent performance, team results, call type, or communication channel, whether voice, chat, email, or social. This level of granularity helps us pinpoint improvement areas. For example, a customer may give a high score on chat but a low score on phone calls. That tells us exactly where to direct training, process changes, or technology improvements. Together, open-ended feedback and channel-level tracking transform NPS from a single score into a detailed map of where customer loyalty is being strengthened and where it's being lost. Finally, let's cover the last 2 key components of NPS in a call center. Fifth, closing the feedback loop. It's not enough to simply collect feedback, we must act on it. Reaching out to detractors, the customers who gave us low scores, shows that their concerns are taken seriously. By addressing their complaints directly, whether it's resolving an issue, clarifying information, or simply apologizing, we can often turn unhappy customers into loyal ones. This practice reduces churn and builds trust. Sixth, benchmarking and trend analysis. NPS is most valuable when tracked over time. Monitoring changes month over month or quarter over quarter shows whether our initiatives are improving customer loyalty. Beyond internal tracking, comparing our NPS with industry benchmarks helps us understand where we stand against competitors. Are we leading in customer loyalty or falling behind? This perspective turns NPS into a true measure of brand health and progress. So, when we combine feedback collection, channel-level insights, action follow-up, and benchmarking, NPS becomes not just a score, but a comprehensive framework for driving continuous improvement and strengthening customer loyalty. Thanks for watching my YouTube channel. Contact Center Knowledge Hub. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights. See you in the next video.